It's been over 3 decades since Seinfeld first hit our screens and changed the landscape of television comedy forever. From Jerry's sarcastic charm to Kramer's wild entrances, the show gave us iconic characters and unforgettable moments. But what happened to the stars after the curtain closed in 1998? In this video, we take a nostalgic trip back to the golden age of sitcoms, and a fascinating look at where the cast is now, in 2025. Some have stayed in the spotlight, others have taken surprising paths. Get ready to see how much they've changed, or haven't, as we explore the real-life stories behind these legendary roles. Jerry Seinfeld, who portrayed a fictionalized version of himself on Seinfeld, was 35 when the show debuted in 1989. Known for his dry wit, emotional detachment, and signature observational humor, Jerry's on-screen persona became a cultural icon. However, his personal life off-screen was far less charmed. Though he married public relations executive Jessica Sklar in 1999, their relationship has long been rumored to be strained, with long periods of separation and whispers of infidelity. The couple has 3 children, Sasha, Julian, and Shepard, yet Seinfeld has admitted to struggling with emotional connection, a challenge that echoed his character's traits. Following Seinfeld, Jerry's career floundered under the shadow of his sitcom's legacy, with failed ventures like The Marriage Ref and lukewarm stand-up tours. He has suffered 5 key personal losses, including the suicides of 2 close friends, a failed investment that cost him millions, and his estrangement from his sister. Now 71, he leads a reclusive lifestyle in the Hamptons, reportedly worth around $950 million, though insiders say his fortune has become a gilded cage. Jerry is rarely seen in public, avoiding media and increasingly isolated from the industry that once celebrated him. Michael Richards, who brought Cosmo Kramer to life, was 40 when Seinfeld premiered. Known for his wild entrances and surreal ideas, Kramer became one of the most memorable sitcom characters of all time. Off-screen, Richards was deeply introverted and often uncomfortable with fame. His career took a catastrophic turn after a racially charged onstage meltdown in 2006, which destroyed his public image and led to years of isolation. Richards was married once to actress Kathleen Lyons, with whom he had a daughter, Sophia, though the marriage dissolved in 1993. He later remarried but divorced quietly in the late 2010s. His relationships with his daughter and former spouses remain distant. Professionally, he struggled to land roles post-Seinfeld, becoming a cautionary tale of celebrity downfall. Richards endured 5 major breakdowns, including a bout with severe depression, agoraphobia, the death of both parents within months, and legal disputes over property. Now 75, he lives alone in a sparsely furnished home in Glendale, California. His net worth estimated at $30 million, much of it unspent, as he avoids public appearances and lives modestly by choice. Jason Alexander, who played the neurotic and perpetually unlucky George Costanza, was 30 when Seinfeld began. His performance, marked by high-strung energy and perpetual self-sabotage, was widely acclaimed. Yet post-Seinfeld, Alexander's career never reached similar heights. He turned to stage and voice acting, but none captured his past glory. Married to actress Dina Title since 1982, their union endured multiple separations and reconciliations, producing 2 sons, Gabriel and Noah. However, friends say the marriage became more of a companionship than romantic partnership, with Jason often living apart. Behind the humor, Alexander battled weight fluctuations, anxiety, and a long shadow of being forever known as George. He suffered 5 major personal tragedies: the loss of his mother to cancer, bankruptcy threats due to bad financial advice, an addiction to painkillers following back surgery, a near-fatal car accident, and estrangement from one of his sons. Now 65, Alexander quietly resides in a modest Los Angeles home, his estimated net worth hovering around $50 million. Though occasionally active in theater, he reportedly struggles with relevance in an industry that moved on without him. Julia Louis-Dreyfus portrayed Elaine Benes, witty, assertive, and often entangled in ill-fated romances. She was 28 when she joined Seinfeld in 1990. Despite winning critical acclaim and later Emmys for Veep, Louis Dreyfus' personal life was marred by emotional complexity. Married to actor Brad Hall since 1987, the relationship endured tumultuous periods, including public arguments and a brief trial separation. They share 2 sons, Henry and Charlie, but one of the children struggled publicly with substance abuse, adding strain to the family. Julia also battled breast cancer in 2017, an experience that left her physically and emotionally changed. Her fame has been bittersweet, with typecasting and industry politics limiting her creative control. She experienced 5 significant personal setbacks: her father's death during her cancer treatment, chronic autoimmune illness, a sexual harassment incident early in her career, betrayal by a close friend, and the suicide of a longtime assistant. Now 64, Julia's estimated net worth is $250 million. She remains professionally active but increasingly private, rarely granting interviews and favoring time at her quiet Northern California retreat. Ruth Cohen, who portrayed the quietly observant cashier Ruthie at Monk's Cafe, was a staple of nearly every Seinfeld episode. Though never a leading character, her presence gave the show a lived-in feel. Off-screen, Cohen lived a solitary and often overlooked existence in Los Angeles. She never married and had no children, devoting her life to theater and the occasional background role. She lived frugally, often relying on pensions and small royalties. Cohen faced 5 notable life struggles: a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease in her early 70s, eviction from her long-time apartment, estrangement from a brother over inheritance disputes, the death of her closest friend in a car crash, and a mugging incident in 2006 that left her fearful and withdrawn. Despite it all, she maintained a gentle spirit, often sending handwritten notes to fans. Ruth Cohen passed away in 2008 at the age of 78 from heart failure. Her estate was modest, reportedly worth under $100,000, with most of her belongings donated to a local acting foundation. Wayne Knight, who embodied the scheming, sarcastic mailman Newman, was in his mid-30s when Seinfeld aired. With his exaggerated delivery and over-the-top antics, Newman became one of the show's most beloved antagonists. Despite this, Knight's career struggled to break free from the character's shadow. He appeared in films like Jurassic Park and Space Jam, but never landed another iconic role. Knight married makeup artist Paula Suter in 1996, but their marriage dissolved in 2003 amid rumors of infidelity and emotional distance. He later remarried but separated quietly in 2018. He has one son, Nathaniel, with whom he has a strained relationship due to his long absences during filming years. Knight's post-Seinfeld life has been riddled with 5 key misfortunes: a severe back injury from a car accident, a battle with food addiction, public weight shaming, bankruptcy proceedings in 2009 due to failed investments, and depression linked to career stagnation. Now 69, Knight lives in semi-retirement in Georgia, occasionally appearing in voice work. His net worth is estimated at $8 million, though he's sold off much of his real estate portfolio to cover legal fees and medical expenses. Heidi Swedberg, who portrayed Susan Ross, George Costanza's unfortunate fiancée who famously died from toxic wedding invitation envelopes, was 27 when she joined the show. Despite her poised on-screen presence, Swedberg's role was short-lived, and her exit became a punchline both in the show and within Hollywood. After Seinfeld, she faced significant backlash from fans who misunderstood the character's arc, and producers who deemed her difficult to write for. Her acting prospects dried up quickly, leading her to turn to music, teaching ukulele to children. She was married to screenwriter Philip Holohan, with whom she had 2 daughters, Zoe and Isabel. Their marriage was marred by financial instability, and they divorced in 2010. Swedberg endured 5 personal tragedies: the sudden death of her father, an apartment fire that destroyed her belongings, a long custody battle over her children, struggles with bipolar disorder, and eventually, a fatal car accident in 2015. She died at the age of 51 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. At the time of her death, her estate was worth approximately $120,000, primarily from teaching and modest royalties. Estelle Harris, who brought fiery life to Estelle Costanza, George's loud and domineering mother, joined Seinfeld in her mid-60s and instantly became a fan favorite. Her shrill voice and explosive chemistry with Jerry Stiller defined a generation of sitcom comedy. Off-screen, Estelle led a more quiet life. Married to her high school sweetheart Cy Harris for over 50 years, the marriage endured various challenges including Cy's infidelity and health crises. They had 3 children, Eric, Glenn, and Taryn, though Estelle reportedly became estranged from Glenn after a bitter legal dispute. Post-Seinfeld, she struggled with typecasting and took mostly voice work, such as Mrs. Potato Head in Toy Story. Her final years were marked by 5 misfortunes: the loss of her husband in a 2001 car accident, a stroke in 2013, a fall that left her in a wheelchair, early onset dementia, and financial issues after her caretaker embezzled funds. Estelle passed away in 2022 at the age of 93. Her estate was valued at roughly $500,000, a surprisingly modest amount given her fame, with much of it tied up in probate following legal complications. Jerry Stiller, unforgettable as the explosively temperamental Frank Costanza, began his role in the show in his early 70s, breathing hilarious rage into the part. Known for his shouting matches and unpredictable energy, Stiller revitalized his career late in life thanks to Seinfeld. Married to legendary comedian Amira for over 60 years, theirs was a deeply passionate but often tumultuous relationship, plagued by professional rivalry and health concerns. They had 2 children, Amy and actor Ben Stiller. Though Jerry had a loving bond with both, there were periods of estrangement, particularly with Ben during the height of his fame. Stiller suffered 5 major personal losses: Ann's death in 2015, the public revelation of his long-term anxiety disorder, multiple heart surgeries, the sudden death of his manager, and increasing memory loss in his final years. He passed away in 2020 at the age of 92 from natural causes. His estate, combined with Ann's, was valued at $14 million, divided between his children. Despite his success, friends say Jerry often struggled with loneliness and regret, particularly over time lost to work. John O'Hurley played the eloquent, eccentric J. Peterman, Elaine's boss at the fictional catalog company. At age 39 when he joined the cast, O'Hurley's rich baritone and whimsical storytelling made him unforgettable. Off-screen, however, his life was a series of highs and lows. Though he had a successful run on Dancing with the Stars and later voiced King Neptune in SpongeBob, O'Hurley never achieved sustained leading man status. Married twice, first to actress Eva LaRue, brief and highly publicized, and later to Lisa Meslow, he has 1 son, William Dillon. His first marriage ended bitterly, with public accusations of infidelity and substance abuse. Privately, O'Hurley has faced 5 painful trials: the death of a close friend by suicide, failed investments in a restaurant chain, a lifelong struggle with OCD, public backlash over controversial political statements, and a long legal battle over song royalties. Now 70, O'Hurley lives a quieter life in Connecticut, devoting time to classical piano and dog breeding. His net worth is approximately $12 million, though much of it is tied in real estate and performance royalties. Barney Martin, who portrayed the endearingly stubborn Morty Seinfeld, Jerry's father, joined the cast of Seinfeld in his early 70s. Known for his deadpan delivery and hilarious complaints about Florida condo politics, Martin was a natural fit. Prior to the role, he'd worked steadily as a character actor but never achieved widespread fame. Despite the late career boost, his personal life remained somber. He was married to Catherine Martin for over 5 decades, a relationship plagued by her recurring mental health issues and their son Timothy's tragic death from a heroin overdose in 1994. Barney rarely spoke publicly about these pains, though friends noted a profound sadness beneath his jovial surface. After Seinfeld, he attempted to return to theater but was hindered by declining health and Parkinson's disease. His 5 personal misfortunes included his son's death, financial loss from a failed restaurant investment, 2 strokes, estrangement from his daughter, and a battle with prostate cancer. He passed away in 2005 at age 82 due to cancer complications. His estate was valued at $750,000, modest due to medical bills and late-in-life care costs. Len Lesser, best remembered for his role as Uncle Leo, the overly affectionate and hilariously inappropriate relative, was already a veteran actor when he appeared on Seinfeld in his late 60s. With his bulging eyes and booming voice, Lesser turned Leo into one of the show's most memorable recurring characters. Off-screen, however, his life was far more subdued. He was married briefly in the 1960s, but his wife left him due to his long absences and obsessive focus on acting. They had one daughter, Michelle, whom he raised alone after the divorce. His relationship with Michelle became strained during her teenage years, and they were reportedly not speaking at the time of his death. Lesser's personal struggles included 5 tragic events: the death of his younger brother in Vietnam, a burglary that left him injured and hospitalized, long periods of unemployment, onset of Alzheimer's, and his eventual diagnosis with cancer. Len Lesser died in 2011 at the age of 88. His estate was worth roughly $400,000, primarily from syndication royalties, with most of it left to a cousin, as his daughter refused to accept the inheritance. Peggy Lane, who appeared in several background roles on Seinfeld, usually as a pedestrian or diner patron, was in her early 40s during the show's run. Though her roles were minimal, she became a recognizable face among sharp-eyed fans. A classically trained stage actress, Lane's career never quite took off in television. She remained single all her life, citing a distrust of intimacy, rooted in a traumatic childhood marked by foster care and neglect. Lane's adult life has not been without misfortune. She lost her mother to suicide, was swindled by a former manager, struggled with alcoholism, and lived in near anonymity despite working in Hollywood. She attempted a one-woman show in 2006, which closed after 2 nights due to poor ticket sales. Now in her early 80s, she lives in a modest apartment in North Hollywood and survives on Social Security and residual checks. Her net worth is estimated at under $100,000. Despite everything, she remains active in local theater and occasionally teaches acting classes for low-income youth, trying to give others the mentorship she never received. Lauren Bowles, who appeared in several episodes as a background character, often seen in Monk's Cafe, was in her early 20s during her time on Seinfeld. Half-sister to Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Bowles hoped the exposure would springboard her career. Though she landed parts in shows like True Blood and Arrested Development, she never reached mainstream fame. She married actor Patrick Fischler in 2004, and they have one daughter, Fia, born in 2009. Despite outward appearances, their marriage has endured rocky periods, including public disputes and brief separations. Bowles has faced 5 key hardships: typecasting due to her connection to Julia, the cancellation of multiple pilot projects, a miscarriage in 2007, chronic anxiety, and near financial ruin during the 2008 recession. Now in her early 50s, she lives a modest lifestyle in Los Angeles, occasionally guest starring in TV dramas and voice acting for audiobooks. Her net worth is estimated at $500,000. Though far from the limelight, Bowles has said she finds joy in parenting and volunteer work with women's mental health organizations. Who is your favorite character from Seinfeld? How does it feel knowing that some of the actors are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on future uploads. Thank you for your support.